Hello Fort Wainwright, Colonel Nate Surrey here. Welcome to another Arctic Vibe. Today we're at Bassett Army Community Hospital because we're going to theme healthcare for our community, and we're also going to theme back to school for our children. A lot of topics to cover. It will be a little longer than usual, so feel free to scroll back and forth in the video to get the, to repeat things that you may not have caught. So before that though, we're going to hit a couple hot topics. And there's two MWR events in the month of August I'd like to talk about. The first one's called Birch Bash. Birch Bash, named after Birch Hill, because that's where it's going to be hosted. It's an outdoor event behind the Birch Hill Lodge, towards the ski hill itself. And it's going to be on 12 August, beginning at 1700. Really two big parts of this. The first one is a gentleman named Mo Carson. He's a barbecue pit master. He's a Navy veteran, and he hosts a show on TV called Barbecue Rub. He's going to be doing a barbecue clinic, and you must sign up for that. Register through the MWR webpage. It is free. It's limited to, I believe it's 50 folks, and it's an awesome event for those that come. At 7 o'clock, Pamela Hopkins' band will perform a concert. She is outstanding. She was here earlier with the dueling pianos at the Warrior Zone. For those of you may have gone to that. But she's bringing her own band up here to perform. While that's all happening, there's going to be food, bounce houses, and adult beverages for those that are over the age of 21. And there's also going to be a Smash a Car fundraiser event where BOSS, Better Opportunities for Single Soldiers, is going to be putting that on to where it's going to be in a safe manner. All the PPE will be on. And then you can donate small amounts of money to take a sledgehammer or ball bat to a junk car that's up there. So if you want to take out some aggression, that's one way you can do it in a safe manner. The next event is going to be Augtober Fest. Now that's AUG, and it's in August, and it's the Augtober Fest theme though. Why in August? Because October it's too cold up here to do anything outdoors. And then last year we did it late September, and it was like 32 degrees. Even though we had a great turnout, we figured let's do it a little earlier so we can be in and outdoors at the Warrior Zone. It's going to be for 18 and older. This is for that population, and it's going to be themed with German food and drinks there at the Warrior Zone. So we hope to see you there for that event. All right, the next topic is going to be, we have two important groundbreakings that happened on Friday of last week, and it's for the Aquatic Center and the Community Activity Center, breaking ground. So they'll open up roughly 2 years from that groundbreaking, and the new Aquatic Center, as talked to about before, is going to be two huge pool areas. Pool for lap swimming and training for our soldiers, and on the other side is going to be a family-friendly pool, which we're woefully need up here. Small splash area, some slides, so that parents can come and their kids of all ages can play in the water. So that's a $40 million project. The second thing is the new Community Activity Center. That will have much more space in meeting rooms and offices for things like FRGs to use. It's also going to have an indoor bowling alley, 16 lane this time, for inside that Community Activity Center. Why do you say we're doing bowling alley? Because the old bowling alley, once that's built, will go under construction to be turned into an indoor sports shooting range. Amazing stuff coming to Fort Wainwright in the MWR realm. So a ton of stuff happening in Alaska for the good. Over the next 5 to 10 years, this place is going to look a lot different. Our next hot topic is the 11th Airborne Division Town Hall that's going to take place on 23 August at 6 p.m. There'll be a lot more flyers out for this coming at the Warm Storage Hangar that's building 2121 off Montgomery Road, just to the north of it. So you park there. You'll see it if you type that in. It's just past Hangar 5, if I remember right. And that'll be hosted by Major General Eifler. Myself and Hospital Commander Jimmy Watts will also be there in attendance. And he's going to talk several different things: housing, EFMP, and all things Alaska, which is all the projects and all the initiatives that are coming here and already have come here, and then answer all the questions from the community. This is a live event in person, so there's going to be bleachers set up. because he wants that in-person dialogue between our community and himself as the senior commander. Going to be a great event. We haven't done one of these in quite some time, so I'm excited about it. All right, the next topic is blood drive. The Army Services Blood Program is coming to Fort Wainwright. The blood drive is 23 through 25 August, daily from 09 to 1600 at the Army Reserve Center, building 3470 off of Chippewa Avenue. We hope to see you come out, not only the armed forces, but our communities at large and are always in dire need of blood. I'm O negative. I'll be there first in line. Try to do it every opportunity I can. So hope to see you there. And anybody can donate. That if you can get on base, families, retirees, veterans, employees, soldiers, whatnot. Last topic I got, and there'll be a short video right after this. Huge success so far. Lesson learned, the next two, you can come in person for the Hunter Information Forum, or we'll also record it and we'll put it on our Fort Wainwright Facebook page within the day of that event. It's held at Birch Hill. It's free. It's from 1400 to 1600. The next one is 4 August, and then one after that is 18 August, same time. The 4 August primarily focused on the caribou hunt that opens up, I think, the 10th of August, if I remember right. And then the 18 August one will still cover some of that, but be more focused on brown bear and moose hunting, because both of those open back up in September. So the panel will have Alaska Department of Fish and Game biologists, Alaska Division of Natural Resource land experts, Bureau of Land Management, land managers, Alaska tribal representatives, and conservation law enforcement for Fort Wainwright and the Alaska State Troopers. So you want to talk about a wealth of knowledge, I highly recommend you either attend or watch the video afterwards, because it's just an incredible amount of knowledge. Because the purpose of this forum is two things. It's to teach you how to plan to get safely from A to B and back to A, because that in itself is a challenge. And then the second part is, how do you ethically and legally harvest game or fish? And those is very difficult to understand in itself, because the regulations are very complicated. So I hope to see you there, or hope that you are able to watch that online. All right, well, I'll be followed by that video clip for the Hunter Information Forum.
If you're a soldier, family member, civilian employee, or retiree on Fort Wainwright and are planning on going on the 40-mile caribou hunt, then consider attending the USAG Alaska Hunting Information Forum on August 4th. The event is held at the Birch Hill Ski Lodge, and you can ask a panel of experts questions about hunting and fishing in the last frontier. The panel will include ADF&G biologists, Alaska DNR land experts, BLM land managers, Alaska tribal representatives, and conservation law enforcement from Fort Wainwright and the state. If you have questions about the 40-mile hunt or any other hunting and fishing questions, these are the folks to talk to.
So welcome back, Fort Wainwright community. So today, my first guest, and it's a true honor to introduce, at least through Arctic Vibe, Colonel Jimmy Watts, the new hospital commander here at Fort Wainwright. And if you may not know this, but Jimmy's also a classmate of mine from West Point 1998, so we go way back. And I have nothing but complete respect for him, and I'm so excited to have him part of our community and running the healthcare for all of our families and soldiers. So welcome, Jimmy.
Thanks, Nate. Great to be here. As Nate said, we've known each other for a long time, and we were just talking about, I would have never imagined that 25 years ago that we'd be sitting here today, but it is truly an honor to be a part of this esteemed community. So thanks for having me on the Arctic Vibe.
Awesome. All right, so Jimmy, we'll get into some questions here. So what is your vision for healthcare at Fort Wainwright and the surrounding areas?
Nate, great question. So I think in order to understand the vision and where we need to take our healthcare in the Arctic too, we have to understand the greater strategic context of medicine. Over the last 50 years, medicine and medical science has really accelerated. The pace of innovation has picked up to a dramatic gallop. In order to evolve and keep pace with that degree of discovery, medicine has begun a process or continued a process rather, of specialization. And what you see is specialties and then subspecialties and then subspecialties in order to optimally take care of people. Because it's really not within any one person's bandwidth to know the full extent and breadth of medicine. Okay, so what does that mean to us here at Fort Wainwright in the greater Alaska community? Well, I think we too need to specialize, okay? And so where we're going to go, where I'd like to take us, is towards a path of becoming the thought leaders in the following areas. First and foremost, we have the opportunity to, number one, become specialized providers in soldier care, okay? Being in the Army and being an Army family member, being in the Air Force and being an Air Force family member presents a special set of challenges and opportunities. So we, as healthcare providers in a healthcare system, we need to understand that, and we need to be the thought leaders in that. Two, being at the roof of the world presents its own set of environmental challenges and opportunities. So we have the opportunity to become specialists in the care of individuals that live up here. So what does that translate to? Well, I think that we will learn an incredible amount and become experts in the prevention and recovery of individuals that have psychological distress. This is a tough environment. There are a lot of stressors here. We will understand those, and together we will prevail over those and restore health and wellness in that domain. We will also become experts in musculoskeletal injury and injury prevention. There's no doubt the Army is a physical occupation, and it has its share of musculoskeletal injury. And to ensure readiness, we have to prevent it and treat it optimally. Third, getting to the unique opportunities that the climate presents, I think that we can definitely be the thought leaders in cold weather injury treatment and prevention, and the special physiologic demands that subarctic temperatures place upon individuals for long periods of time. I think we can own that. And then finally, we should be the thought leaders in comprehensive women's health. At least 1% of our force is coming through the doors of this institution or the outlying clinics for a healthcare need that revolves around specifically women's health. And I think that when we look at the population here at Fort Wainwright and at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson, we can say that that's a pretty large volume of individuals. So we can learn a great deal and refine our craft and provide optimal service. So I think that that's where we need to get to.
Very insightful, Jimmy. And I took several notes there as you were talking, because it's very evident that you've spent a lot of time thinking about this. And you know, by no means am I a doctor, but just kind of surveying the community, I believe you hit the nail on the head on all those. Spot on. So it'd be exciting to see how that strategy and that vision goes forward over your tenure. So having said that, what are the specific challenges that you see?
So I think that the biggest challenge is that the demand is here now. The demand signal for all of those services is here right now. The problem is that we're not set yet for that optimal care delivery in those areas. So we're potentially potentially a little bit off with our strategic alignment, right? And so what we need to do over the next 2 years is get aligned, right? We've got really three big strategic sources of resources. We have the Department of the Army, we have the Department of the Air Force, and we have the Defense Health Agency. We also, to a large degree, have the overall TRICARE set of resources that are available to us within the local network. So what we have to do is we have to align all of those strategic assets to ensure that we have coverage for the entire population, and then we shift different care venues from one pot to another pot to another pot, so that we're hitting optimization in each one of those areas, given all the resources that are available to us. Some people actually think that having multiple resources is a bad thing. I believe that having multiple resourcing streams is a great thing. It provides us more options to look for optimization. And that can only be seen as an opportunity. Now, the challenge is synchronizing all of those assets, strategic resources, in space and time and purpose, right? But I mean, that's what we're trained to do. So we've got to do it, and that's our mission here as the headquarters staff for MEDAC Alaska, is to synchronize all of those things in space, time, and purpose.
Well, I can empathize with that and agree with you 100%, because in the Garrison world, it's very similar. We have Installation Management Command, we have G9 up at Headquarters DA, we have our senior commander route through 11th Airborne, a little 1st Corps, and USERPAC, and among others. And then the functionals of each of our specialties, it goes all the way up, for example, law enforcement, you might say, or the Office of Provost Marshal. So you're absolutely right. And getting all those things aligned, leader-wise, is easy. It's the staff that you got to make sure that they understand truly the intent and the end state, and that takes constant messaging, over-messaging, with very clear words that are easy to understand. So I'm on board with you, man. I tell you, because we see it. My wife works for you, and we've seen it all the way back from when we were here as young lieutenants. But I think with the Arctic strategy, right, that being a huge emphasis to achieve Arctic dominance, that's going to fuel resources to us in a more timely manner and maybe more robust is what, at least I'm seeing that from my side.
And I think that's, we have to take advantage as leaders, tactical leaders, of the strategic opportunity that is being afforded to us. And so we are definitely in line with General Eifler's vision of seizing the initiative and shaping the conversation at the strategic level.
Awesome. Okay, so another question here. What should patients expect in the months ahead?
So I think really in the months ahead, what you'll see is definitely change. I think that will be certainly a constant as we implement our strategy. And I think what you're going to also see is a shift in focus towards those specializations. And what I also think that you can expect is compassion, empathy, and transparency, right? Anytime that there's change, transparency must be present, because you need to understand as consumers of the service what's going on. You need to understand what we're seeing, and we need to understand what you're seeing, and then together we can form that common sight picture to help really service your needs. And so I think the challenge is change, but the answer is transparency, as well as empathy, as well as compassion, right? Because we're talking about people's health here. We're talking about life and death things, mortality, things that keep us up at night. And so if we can't approach those things with empathy and compassion, shame on us. So that's my promise to each one of you.
Oh, no, I agree, Jimmy. It's, man, again, well, I'll talk about it here in a minute on my thoughts overall. But one last question, just a little drill down a little more. Are there other medical resources available for patients in lieu of an appointment with their primary care provider?
No, there is, Nate. Thanks. So I think that what we have to do as patients, and I'm a patient too. I've had my share of chronic illness in my life, as well as acute illness, and I will tell you, we have to think and redefine healthcare and how we see healthcare in our own minds, using a different paradigm. What we're used to and what is traditional as America, apple pie, and turkey on Thanksgiving, is going to go see the doctor, similar to that Norman Rockwell painting, in the doctor's office. That's our vision of healthcare. Our new vision of healthcare has to be a little bit more broad. We have to capitalize on the fact that knowledge is no longer confined to medical professionals. It is now everywhere. What we have to do is we have to empower our patients to be good consumers of that knowledge. And so that has to be a central tenet to our strategy, number one. So that's one way to get after it. The second way to get after it is to capitalize on what I call remote healthcare. Some people call it virtual healthcare. Some people call it telehealthcare. But I like to think of it as remote healthcare, okay? Remote because it's not virtual. It's real healthcare, right? It's not a hologram of healthcare. It's real, right? It just might not be face-to-face. I deliver a lot of healthcare over the phone with my patients who are actually all throughout the world. Okay, they're in different time zones, and they are constantly traveling, and I'm able to deliver healthcare to them, which is really knowledge at this stage, knowledge. And so I think we have to focus on getting patients and their healthcare team together, comfortable with each other so that they trust each other, so that then we can deliver healthcare remotely. And that is very important when it comes to the Arctic, right? Because there's going to be certain times where the environment is going to really limit our ability to physically get together. And so we need to learn how to do that, do it well, and do it in a trusting and open space.
That's wonderful, and I'll just tell you, all the years I've been working with flight surgeons as an aviator, I've probably seen 20, 25 over the years, and the key to success there is, one, they have access to your entire record, so they can see all that knowledge, but two, the patient has to be able to communicate clearly with them as they ask questions, clearly and openly, so they get the whole picture. And then all those doctors have never failed me. They've always been wonderful. I mean that sincerely. Never had a situation where I didn't say my care was awesome. So I think you're spot on, Jimmy. Well, my point I was going to really get at the end here is it's quite obvious that his level of intelligence and deep thing is far above mine. And he's only been here a month, and you can already see it's like he's been here 2 years. So Jimmy, I'm excited to continue to work with you. I know you're a wonderful addition to the team, you and your family. And like me, he picked Fort Wainwright to come up here, so he wants to be here. He's invested in the community, and I think you will see that. Jimmy, thank you so much for being here today.
Nate, thanks for having me as a guest.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to coming back and update you and the community on our progress.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jimmy. All right, speaking of health and wellness, going to show a video of a wonderful construction project that's happening right now in the month of August. It'll be ready, should be by September in Engineer Park.
Hey everybody, my name is Lindsay Lancaster. I'm the Youth Sports and Fitness Director here at Fort Wainwright, and we got a project going on at Engineer Field. So if you look behind me, you're going to see some groundbreaking going on. We have a play structure that's coming. It's going to have 3 different sections. We're going to have a 2 to 5 section, a 5 to 12, and a 13 and up. So that's going to be our main play structure in the middle, and then walking down on the walking paths, you're going to see some exercise equipment as well, and that's all going to be for 13 and up. Can't wait to see you out here.
All right, Fort Wainwright, welcome back again. So here at BACH, we're going to keep the theme to this Arctic Vibe is about schools and healthcare. So joining us today is Lieutenant Colonel Laura Fowle, the Chief of Department of Primary Care. Welcome, Laura. How you doing?
Good. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. So we'll kind of sit some more topics here and spin off of what Colonel Jimmy Watts talked about. So the next one here is, what can you tell our families about getting their children ready for the new school year in terms of health care?
Going back to school is an exciting time for both the kids and the parents, but it can also be very stressful. And so to help parents out, we've been offering the iterations of our sports and school physicals. We've had 3 iterations so far. We've had a good turnout for that. We have one more left, August 11th from 4 to 6 p.m. And if parents are interested and want to schedule an appointment for that, they can call 907-361-4000 and schedule an appointment. We are asking that those be not walk-in but scheduled appointments so that we can plan accordingly with staff and such.
Well, I can tell you from experience, my kids went through it. They have a wonderful process downstairs, station to station to station. They've already done the pre-screens. That's why you do the schedule the appointment, because they already know what immunizations you might need or whatnot. So it goes fairly fast. The hardest part's filling out like 3 pages of paperwork. But it goes quick, and I really appreciate the Bassett doing this for our families, because I've done this several times, and it's by far the best of the other places that I've been. So, are there any new requirements this year?
Not that we are aware of right now, and I did check the website again today just to make sure that I wasn't missing anything, and I don't see any new requirements for vaccinations or anything. Everything should be the same as last year. I did read on the Fairbanks website that there are military families are actually allowed 30 extra days once school starts to ensure like immunizations are caught up if they're behind or what have you. So that allows folks that are maybe PCSing in from someplace else to have a few extra days to prepare for the school year. If your child gets sick, which usually happens, a couple of weeks into the school year, lots of germs have gone around with kids. We do have a robust over-the-counter medication program here at the pharmacy. It is a walk-up. You can walk in and ask for items such as Tylenol, cough medicine, Robitussin, Sudafed, and even lice treatment, which, as we know, sometimes goes around when school starts too. A full list is of the medications that are available on the website, the Bassett website, and you can go on and see what all we have in that area. Also in the pharmacy now, folks can come in and pick up free COVID tests, home tests, and they can come in. It's a walk-in service. Request the COVID tests, and we will provide those free of charge to go home and be able to test your kids and yourself as the school year goes on. Lastly, we still do have COVID vaccinations available. If you have thought about it and decided that maybe your kids need vaccinations or yourself, we have those available, and we now have the vaccinations for 6 months and up. So we do ask for the 6 months to 5-year-olds to please call the appointment line for an appointment on those, just so that we can track how many kiddos are coming in for that vaccination. Also, a reminder, sleep and nutrition are very important as the school year gets rolling. It's vital to health and having a good school year. With school starting in less than 3 weeks, it's not too early to start initiating a solid bedtime routine and making sure those kids are getting plenty of rest, and then planning good breakfasts for them to get started and healthy lunches.
Couldn't agree more on both of those things. Those kids get tired, and if they stay up too late at night or they're not eating good meals, breakfast, lunch or dinner, any of them, and then the fact that they're growing, all of them, it can really change their attitude and their ability to learn and their behavior. So wonderful, great points across the board. You know, team out there, if you have any other questions, put them in the chat. We can get back to you on those, or post the answers for everyone out there to see. Or you can also come into Bassett and get more information. So Laura, I can't thank you enough for coming in. Appreciate your time, and we'll be seeing you soon.
All right, thanks, sir.
Thanks.
Now we welcome to the program Fairbanks North Star Borough School District's Chief Administrative Officer, Karen Melin, to share some information about the upcoming school year.
Superintendent, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here.
So for those of you who don't know, Superintendent Melin is, she does a wonderful job, manages the North Star Borough School District. How many schools is that? Is it 20?
20 plus.
20 plus schools. And it stretches from North Pole all the way across the Fairbanks area. Huge job. I sit on as advisory vote for the board, so we work a lot together. And it's something like 25%, give or take, of the students in the school district are military affiliated between Eielson and Wainwright. So we have a huge voice in the community, and Karen listens very intently with us and tries to meet those needs for us, and I would say always does. So without further ado, I'll hit the first question. So what is new for the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District this year that you can think of? And I'll just kind of add to that, as a caveat, what can the families do to prepare for this school year?
Well, thank you. And I just want to say my appreciation to you, Colonel Surrey, and the partnership that we've been able to have. And we do appreciate and value our military-connected families. We know it's challenging, the life they live, the transient situations that they have to deal with. So it's important to us that we support those families and students in their processes of settling in our new community. So a few things that will be important to know is that a lot of information that will help families and students settle in is on our website. It's k12northstar.org. And on the front banner, there's a Back to School button. And if they click that Back to School button, there's information about bus transportation, which has been a challenge in the past, and we anticipate it continuing to be a challenge. We are problem solving in ways to make it better. We are committed this year to reliable, consistent service, and we're not going to go to a rolling schedule. So however we have to build our schedules to make sure that it's an everyday offering for families, that's what we're going to do. So you can get that information on our website. Another really important thing for families to know is about our school lunch program. The last several years that through a federal grants program, that free lunches have been provided for all families. That opportunity is going away, and it's going back to how it was pre-COVID times, where families will need to fill out a form to see if they qualify for a free or reduced lunch for their students. So I want to encourage our military families to go to our website, click on the school lunch program, and there's a form there that they can fill out to get the free and reduced lunches. There is some information specifically to our military families at what incomes are included in that and which aren't. So if some families think, well, I wouldn't qualify, make sure you go and just look at that to see, because possibly you would. And if you have been participating in the school lunch program before, you still will need to fill out that form to make sure that your students get their lunches and breakfasts. The other thing that will be really important on that website are the supply lists. So there's a list there of supplies that in grade level schools that parents can go and access and see what's available for their particular student. And lastly, an important part of the information on that website is school start times. And school start times differ across the district, and it's a little crazy to figure out sometimes, because it's not that all elementary schools start at one time and all middle schools start at another, but it has to do more with location. And for those families that are new to the district and wonder what kind of crazy thing put this schedule together, it was as a result of our busing situation. We went to a tiered busing schedule, which required different schools in different geographic locations to have different start times. So that's kind of what prompted those start times, but you'll want to make sure and check and see when your student's school starts. And we have, what's new in the district. It's not really new, but it continues. And that's a K-8 school that's available at Ladd Elementary, just right here at the gate. So if you're interested in having your student be in a K-8 school, that's kindergarten through 8th grade, as opposed to our elementary schools, which are kindergarten through 5th grade, and our middle schools, which are 6th grade through 8th grade, then you might want to check out Ladd and their kindergarten through 8th grade option, which it brings me to another thing that's new in our district this year, and we're really kind of excited about this, and that's our middle school model going from 7th and 8th grade to 6th through 8th grade. So that's something that's kind of new that we're looking forward to. So you'll want to check the parents will want to check the boundaries if they're living off post, what school they would go to, and where that school is located, because that has changed a little bit. And if you have a 6th grader, your 6th grader is going to get to go to middle school this year and enjoy some of the options that are available at a middle school that might not be at an elementary school. So those are a few things that are happening, and things that might help parents get ready for school.
It's a great rundown. It is always daunting, especially when if this is their first year into the district. But even then, every year, you release for the summer, and then you forget about it, and then all of a sudden August comes, and you're like, when's the start school date? And I think ours is like the 18th or something.
Yep, students start on the 17th. Yeah.
And so, as I was telling you, my wife was way ahead. She's a good planner and has already bought all the supplies, and she's already figuring out the start times, figuring out how we're going to do that. But it's about preparation. Parents have to prepare, and you just gave them all the examples of where information can be. I'm old school. I like to do face-to-face too. Hey, this is what I read. Is this all correct? Just to making sure we're good. And then having the constant scan of those information sites for changes. For
Exactly.
Our PAO that runs this program does a wonderful job of grabbing the information from North Star Borough, and if there are changes to bus schedules. And for those who don't understand why, bottom line is the labor market. Getting bus drivers is just as difficult as getting people to work in any other job we see throughout our community up here or all over the 48. And I do believe the school district's done a great job, as best they absolutely can, to get those bus drivers hired. But just the so what behind that, if you're new to this year, I wanted to explain that. Okay, so we already talked. Okay, here's a good one. What should parents do to participate in their child's learning?
That's a great question, and it goes to one of our fundamental beliefs that we're a learning organization and we're a partner organization, and our number one partners in what we do are the parents. So if parents would go to their child's school, meet the teacher, be involved with what's going on at the school, activities at the school, that's a great way to partner with the district, to just be involved and be present. If that's not possible in a physical way, all of our teachers are available via email. We have great administrative secretaries and front office folks that are always willing to help parents. Principals across our district, great principals, both elementary and secondary principals, that are always willing to talk to parents and partner with parents. And so just entering into that partnership with the school district, because ultimately they're your kids, and we get the privilege of partnering with you to provide an excellent education with them. So just being involved in what's happening in the classroom and at the school is the best way to have student success. And in the end, when there's student success, everyone wins.
No, I couldn't agree more. One of the things that my wife and I do is we meet with the teachers every year at the beginning, and we look them right in the eye and say, we want to know when our kids aren't doing well. We want to know when our kids are having issues, because we have to be able to help you hit it from both sides at the home and the school, so it's positive reinforcement of whatever those lessons are. What teachers do is I would say one of the hardest jobs, if not the hardest jobs there are out there. It's incredibly difficult. And God bless all the administrators out there and teachers. My dad did 37 years, so I completely understand the difficulty that's involved. So I couldn't have said it better. It's a partnership, open communication, candid communication, professional, empathetic on both sides, creates a better package for the child altogether.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so lastly, any other messages for our soldiers and families here at Fort Wainwright?
Well, I do want to make everyone aware of some opportunities that are available for you coming up right away. And all of us are living in the day and age that we live in, when prices for everything from gas to groceries has gone up exponentially. And so we realize the pressure on families for school supplies, because you get that school supply list and it's some significant things. So with that, I would just want to make the families aware of the greatest backpack giveaway event happening August 6th. And this is an opportunity for families to go and collect school supplies, get a backpack for their student. There will be other informational booths there at the giveaway. But you can go and collect school supplies. Everything is free. So that's one event, and that's for students kindergarten through 12th grade. And then on August 14th is another opportunity to collect a backpack and school supplies, and that'll be at Pioneer Park. And that'll be more specifically geared for the kindergarten through 6th grade. So that's an opportunity for you to go and get some free supplies and information you might need to prepare your student for school. So that's one thing I just want to make everyone aware of. And then I just want to reiterate again the partnership that we like to build. So as families and students, partners, if you are having some concerns, reach out to us, and we're always willing to problem solve, to listen. We may not be able to do everything that you want, but to the best of our ability, we want to support families and students through their academic career here at the school district. We value our families and our students as partners in this whole process. Staffing is challenging this year. As you said so well earlier, across every industry, staffing is a problem. So we're problem solving that, and military folks know what problem solving means. You look at all the options and, the least worst option and those kinds of things. So that's what we're in the process of doing now. But we are doing the very best that we know how, and we appreciate the partnership of parents and our military friends as well.
Those are wonderful. I had no idea, but I'm sure those came through some donations or whatnot. But kudos to the community for putting that on for our families across the community. Well, Karen, I can't thank you enough. I look forward to all the board meetings that we sit on, and then the communication we have back and forth throughout the year. Got a small break there, at least for the summer, but now we're back to the engine turning again. So. Yep. Thanks for everything you do. your job is you know, that's a tough one.
Yep.
And I don't envy it, but I appreciate it.
Well,
So
it's my
thank you.
privilege to serve and to
Absolutely.
partner with you.
Thank you, Karen. So recently, we just wrapped up the Army Emergency Relief Campaign here at Fort Wainwright. I will tell you, I was absolutely amazed, and that is very sincere what I'm saying, about the leadership engagement, the leader engagement that our team had across the community. And I mean our team, I'm talking the battalion commanders, company commanders, squad leaders, soldiers themselves, everyone in the community to donate to the Army Emergency Relief Campaign. The stats were phenomenal. Here's a video to discuss that.
My name is Jeff Rudd. I'm one of the Army Emergency Relief Officers at Fort Wainwright here at U.S. Army Garrison, Alaska. We're here today to celebrate the end of the AER annual campaign for 2022. Soldiers on this installation did a fantastic job this year, and we want to take this time to recognize those folks that have really went above and beyond to do their thing. Last year at Fort Wainwright, $56,000 was raised from over 700 soldiers, and this year, during this year's campaign, we blew that out of the water with nearly $99,000 and over 1,000 soldiers that donated money to help out with AER efforts. A lot of assistance is provided to help soldiers here on the installation. $754,000 in assistance last year to 386 soldiers, and with all the efforts from the campaign this year, we'll be able to help even more. A lot of good news stories here at Fort Wainwright.
All right, team, so it's my great pleasure to introduce one of our wonderful employees of the U.S. Army Garrison team, Miss Janet Farris. Janet, how you doing?
Hello, sir. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. I have an absolute joy working with Janet for a multitude of reasons, but most importantly is her true passion, right? We talk about, you know, people show up to work every day. Some people are more motivated than others. Some people have better attitudes than others. One thing to tell you about Janet is there's not too many people who have much passion as she does in fulfilling what her purpose is in her job. And what Janet does is she's our school liaison officer. And I'm going to ask her, Janet, explain that to the community, what that means.
So the school liaison officer, sir, we have many duties, as I like to tell the soldiers, and three of the main duties that we have I will address here. Number one is that all school liaison officers are connected duty station to duty station, even military branch to military branch. Why? We want to make sure families who have children in school, kindergarten through college, has the best transition possible when they PCS. And how do we do that? By you giving us your information of where you are going, and then we will connect you to the next SLO at the next place so that we can get you already started in introducing yourself to the schools and the availability of type of schools in that area. But it's up to the families to reach out to us to make sure that we can do that for you. Second thing is that in our title we have liaison in there, and what that means is that we want to make sure families have a great relationship with their schools. It's so important to have that partnership, and that partnership is only as successful as parents and the schools are willing to work together, and that helps with student success. And the third thing is many families are not aware that military-connected students are protected by federal and state law called MIC-3. They have special circumstances for them because they live a unique lifestyle. So we make sure those laws and regulations are being followed.
Well, that's wonderful information, Janet. And she'll tell you, I didn't know this stuff until she briefed me when I was incoming, or actually already in command. Wealth of knowledge that she can provide. So, and she's wonderful. So if I were you as a parent out there, I would reach out to Janet Farris, who works for ACS, Army Community Services, and she will give you all the knowledge you need. And I mean, I'm telling you, you will be very impressed. Is there any certain tasks specifically, little couple that you could remind parents about what they need to do for their student when they PCS during the school year or right before it starts?
Absolutely. As soon as you know where you're PCSing, you can start communicating with your school right away. Start getting that partnership. Here's where MIC-3 comes into play. You, as a military family, have every right to ask for unofficial hard copies of transcripts to take with you to help you start that registration process at the next duty station. You have that right. It may cost a few dollars. It may be free. It just depends on the school. But you do have that right. And as I tell parents, schools don't know what they don't know. It's up to us to share that knowledge with them. And that means many are not aware that you do get to have those hard copies. Please remember, don't pack them in your goods. You want to take them with you. You want to take them with you at the next duty station. The other thing is, as it has already been mentioned, reach out to your school liaison officer so that we can connect you to the next school liaison officer. How is that done here? I will send emails. I will have attachments, so many attachments for you of information to help you make that transition as easy as possible. As I would like to tell families, you know what it's like to PCS. The children go through the same thing. They won't tell you, but they'll show you. Let us help you with that. The next duty slow will contact you as soon as I give that information out within 48 hours. You will already have a connection to the area you're not familiar with. We're getting you to that familiarity.
Janet, that's wonderful. My closing point as a testament to not only Ms. Melin, who you heard from earlier as the superintendent in the school district, but largely because of Janet's ability to liaison with the schools. There is an award called the Purple Star Award, which basically rates, in order to achieve that, you have to have met many different gates, and they're pretty high level standards that show your support for the military families. And in this borough, I believe this has been a while now, there was roughly 20 schools in the state, 20 or 21, and 10 of them were in North Star Borough. So 50% basically for the state were in this school district. You think Juneau, you think Kodiak, you think Anchorage, which is far larger than us. And Janet spearheaded that along with the superintendent and everyone and all the administrators accepted your guidance and your help to get their schools to that level, because it is difficult, especially when you PCS right in the middle of the year, which happens to a lot of our winter PCS and families. So Janet, thanks again for everything, and I look forward to working with you for the next school year.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Hey Fort Wainwright, this is Raven with your connection to great community events off post in August. Bring a blanket or chair for a free concert this Thursday at the Georgeton Botanical Garden. Music in the Garden continues with the Fairbanks Community Jazz Band from 7 to 8 p.m. The Tanana Valley State Fair is still going on through the 7th, with Military Appreciation Day this Friday. You don't want to miss this year's Chena Lake Art and Music Festival on August 13th. Join in on the lakeside fun with live music, delicious food, kids' activities, and handmade goods. For more information, go to fairbanksarts.org. Another great event happening on the 13th is the Fairbanks Day Block Party, happening at Pioneer Park with live music, dance performances, carnival games, and so much more. The Sandhill Crane Festival is celebrated the third week of August at Creamer's Field as thousands of Sandhill cranes begin their journey south for the winter. There will be guest speakers, artists, guides, and activities for all ages. Who doesn't love tasty food truck foods? There will be a food truck rally and street fair on the 27th at the Discovery Peak Charter School in North Pole from 1 to 7 p.m. You don't want to miss these great events and so much more happening around town this month with fun for all ages. See you out there, Fort Wainwright.
All right, Fort Wainwright team, thank you again for watching our 8th edition of Arctic Vibe. Again, we try to rotate this all around the Garrison footprint, and we rotate the themes so in hopes that our community now and our future community can go back through time, scroll through these videos, and get a wealth of knowledge in a different way. The next one will be, for the month of September, it will be hosted at Southern Lights Chapel on 25 August. We always do these on that day, roughly around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so you're always welcome to come attend in person. But if not, you can watch it. We air it we always record it the week prior, and then we do the airing on the next Tuesday evening, which in this case is 25 August. As always, we welcome your comments on themes that you'd like to hear, changes you'd like to see to the Arctic Vibe. because we're always a learning organization trying to get better. Enjoy the last few months of summer, August, September. Get out on the golf course. It is green as I've ever seen it now. It's finally bloomed up after all the damage from the ice this winter. The team has done a wonderful job to get that prepared for our community. It's actually hosting the state tournament in the month of August. Get out there and play some golf. Get out there and hunt and fish. Get out there and recreate in any which way you want. This is the most beautiful state in the union. Yes, I'm biased, but I think most people agree, but you got to get out there and experience it. As always, keep a positive attitude and stay safe. Have a great day.